The following story contains adult themes and depictions of violence and trauma. This podcast is not for children. Please be advised.
"6 days. I've barely gone outside of my room in 6 days. To be honest, I think I could if I wanted to. Then again, I seem to be holding some paranoia that he'll notice I'm missing. He always seems to know. It's terrifying in a way. It's stuffy in here. Opening a window never helps. It only lets in the summer heat. I've learned a couple things. There are 64 tiles of marble in my room. I could easily fit inside of my wardrobe and shut the door. The gardener does his work just as the sun comes up, before the heat can get to him. I think it's getting to me. I want to leave. Not just my room, I want to leave this goddess-forsaken kingdom. I want to disappear without an explanation and let them worry. But it's impossible. I'm an adult with responsibilities. A member of the court. I couldn't leave the queen. She's done nothing to me. Even if her son is a liar. A dirty liar who can feign as much ignorance as he pleases without a care for me. I cannot keep my lie up for much more. They'll start to grow worried if I'm sick for any longer. At this point, is it even feigning sickness? I feel sick. There's this constant churning in my stomach that makes me want to vomit. I'm so tired. It's so hot. The sun has been gone for quite some time now. Perhaps I should get some air? I felt like a mad woman wandering around the garden in my nightgown. The air outside was much cooler, the wind calming me as it rustled through the branches of foliage. I sat down at one of the fountains and dipped my fingers in the water. My reflection was a woman I couldn't recognize. Her hair was tangled and greasy. Her eyes were tired, her face was plain. I've always been told I look just like my mother. It isn't true. Mother never looked like this. Even in her last moments alive, she was soft and clean. She died loved. It's because of him. He's the reason I'm like this. I've been thinking about it a lot, actually. He was lurking around the Lord's house when I first saw him. He was different. The only man dressed in fancy clothing. The only one we could truly call an outsider. He praised my village for its open air and sereneness. And in the end, he set it all aflame. It must be so easy to throw things away when you have money and power. He threw my entire life away in just one decision. I uprooted myself and traveled to a city I knew nothing of because I had no choice. Why am I the one hiding from him? He should be ashamed of himself. He knows what he's done. Why should I be locking myself in my room? I have things to be doing. I have to survive. I can't stay in stagnation. I see him there, leaning against the railing of his balcony and taking in the scene. His eyes met mine. He smiled softly. How dare he? He keeps looking around the garden, then he looks back to me.
You must be feeling better.
How am I to explain myself? I don't think I'm ready to come out of my lie. I can't face him. I don't want to. It's all right. Take a deep breath. You can do this, Rilliane. I glared at him. I'm not sure if it was intentional or not.
Is something wrong?
I stood up. I looked him dead in the eyes. and then I walked away.
"11 days. It had been 11 days since I've seen Rilliane's face, and 6 days since she had fallen ill when I finally saw her once more. It's been 9 hours since she's glared at me. Part of me wonders if it was a hallucination. I kind of feel like shit. The look of disdain she gave me made my heart sink. What could have happened? Everything was going well. She told me that she loves me. Is she lying? Has she changed her mind? Has she seen me for what I truly am and decided I'm not worth her time anymore? She can't do that. At least not without an explanation. My heart aches at the thought of it. She must have some sort of reasoning for her animosity towards me, and I'm not sure whether I'll be forgivable. After everything I've witnessed in my lifetime, the one thing I could be sure of was her. I don't know what I'm to do if she's gone. So I've gone searching. I started with her room, knocking at the door, as always. There isn't a response. "Rilliane?" Is she hiding from me, pretending she isn't there? You there.
Huh? Your Highness, my apologies.
Tell me, do you know the whereabouts of Lady Anne?
Lady Anne returned to work today, Your Highness.
Has she now?
Yes, Your Highness, she's most likely with the Queen as we speak.
Huh. Very well.
Aren't you being a bit dramatic?
Of course not. She's obviously upset with me.
What makes you think that?
You saw the way she glared at me.
Is that not the norm?
What? No.
My love would glare at me from time to time.
What was wrong?
Nothing. She glared at everyone.
Well, that is where she and Rilliane differ.
I'm not sure what you plan on telling her in the middle of the hall.
It's simple. If she's upset with me, we'll reason it out in private. If she isn't, then I'm simply greeting a lady in waiting politely.
Good luck with that.
Unfortunately, I already know I'm not allowed in the tower. I tried 12 times, trying to visit my mother before I resorted to scaling the side of it. That won't help me now. However, I can wait outside until she comes down. She'll have to face me then.
I apologize, Your Highness, but you and I are both well aware of the King's decree. No one is to visit Her Majesty under any circumstance. Only essential personnel are permitted.
There's no need to fret. I'm here to speak to you.
Your Highness?
I've been quite slack with these regulations. How am I to know if my mother's safety is truly ensured with just a measly 2 guards here at the door?
I can assure you, Your Highness, we work on a very efficient protocol. Her Majesty is under security at all times.
And how long has she been locked up there again? 9 years? How many times has your protocol been reviewed in those past 9 years?
I'm sure it's been...
Are you sure? I know my father is quite adamant about her having no visitors, but I doubt he's the type to reevaluate her security plans. I could only kill so much time here, but I've been wanting to discuss this issue with them for a while anyway. Does she have a way to alert you that she's in danger? Or are you relying on her screams to carry?
You bring up some interesting points, Your Highness. It would be a good idea to evaluate her security.
It would be a good idea, wouldn't it?
We can arrange a meeting to discuss it at a further date.
Excellent. I'm glad we agree. Good afternoon, Lady Anne.
Your Highness.
She's pissed. Lady Anne, I think it best that we discuss some things. Lady Anne! She's lured me into a trap. She knows I can't confront her in a room full of waitstaff and gossip mongers. It's best I leave anyway.
2 days. It's been 2 days since Zayn Elijah de Monte has decided to chase me around the castle. Of course, he's more subtle about it. It's very ironic that the prince has decided that now would be the best time to check on all his staff. In all honesty, it's quite irritating. Every time I look at his face, I see red. His facade of worry and concern. He doesn't actually care about me. If he cared, then he wouldn't have done what he's done. If he cared, he wouldn't have lied to me in the first place. He must think I'm an idiot.
Annie. Do you mind explaining why the prince is in the kitchen taking notes?
Why would I know?
You seem to know a lot of the whys when it comes to him.
I don't concern myself with his agenda.
Wait a minute, you're still fighting with him, aren't you?
What about it?
Annie, it's been over a week.
13 days, to be precise.
I thought you two had made up when you came back to work.
I can't just spend all day wallowing in my room. I need to make money.
Oh my god, is that why he's been lurking around so much? Because he's looking for you?
Nonsense. He's evaluating the staff. Can't you see that?
He's been making everybody nervous. There's some rumor going around that he's making a list of people to fire.
He could be. You never know when it comes to him. Always lurking in his office, never going outside.
Well, he's outside right now.
Good for him.
What happened between the two of you?
He lied. He used me. It doesn't matter.
When are you going to talk to him?
I don't know.
Will you ever talk to him?
I don't think I have a choice in that matter. I sat in the dining hall for another hour, hoping that he'd be gone by the time it was empty. He can't come into a crowded place and fight with me. He'll ruin his reputation. My hopes, of course, are futile, because he's still standing in the kitchen when I finally leave. He looks at me. There's a couple people in here cleaning up.
Good evening, Lady Anne.
Dear goddess, people are listening. Good evening, Your Highness.
Any other plans for the night?
Not me. It's quite late. I'll most likely head to sleep now.
Oh. Allow me to escort you to your bedchambers, Lady Anne.
Thank you, Your Highness, but I wouldn't want to impede you. I can make it to my room just fine.
Nonsense. It's no hassle to make sure you get there safely. I appreciate the work you do, caring for my mother in her time of sickness.
Well, if you insist, Your Highness. I've made another mistake by staying at the dining hall so late. The halls are almost completely empty. He can talk as much as he pleases.
Really, Anne?
Your Highness?
You can't ignore me forever.
He's going to catch me.
Can we not talk?
There's a split and the hall's coming up. How can I lose him? He's a few paces behind. I do something unprofessional. I run. How long will I have to stay here? How long can I keep this up? After a few minutes, I step away from the door. I take a look around the room. Boxes and tarps were strewn about. Towards the end of the room, I see something catch my eye. A half-covered painting of Zayn. He's young. Perhaps 14 or 15. He looks different. His eyes don't carry the same sunkenness as they do now. His hair is longer. There's a slight crack on his mouth. No, not a crack. A smile. Seeing it made my eyes swell up with tears. He's young and innocent here, soft and sweet. A child. Why would you do that to me?
I caught you.
Hey there, you're listening to episode 18 of He Who Forsakes the Crown with me, your host, Giselle Fausto. Hi, welcome to the show. I'm glad you're here. And I'm sorry that I interrupted you when it was getting good. My bad, that's on me, but you know I gotta do my little spiel because I love listening to myself talk. I'm hoping this episode came out on November 4th. If it didn't, it's probably a couple days after, and I'm sorry. We're just having some issues with getting lines in and stuff. Technological errors, you know the works. I'm like one person. You guys already know we're sort of reaching the end game of this act, which will be ending on 22, and there will be an episode up for December. And now, looking ahead, we're probably gonna skip the Jan episode. Again, we did that last year, and I'll post something fun that day, not necessarily a bonus episode, but something fun, so you don't forget about us. Speaking of not forgetting about us, if you haven't already, you should really follow us on social media, because then you get to see so much more of us and get to see what we're thinking and what we're doing. I make a lot of drawings for this. I make a new drawing for every episode that comes out. I've been drawing a lot of scenes in the story. You can, see what the design characters are looking like. And you can find all of that on our social media. So that's going to be Instagram, Tumblr, TikTok at Chapter 15 Studios. 15 is always the number. And then Twitter, of course, CH15 Studios, because the character limit put me one over. You can also check out our website, www.chapter15studios.com. It's always in the link description. We've got the About Us, some more art, other stuff like that. Really fun. I put the website together. It'd be nice if people looked at it. If you're enjoying the show, go ahead and leave us a review or write us a comment or send us a message or just do anything. We love knowing that you're there. And by we, I mean me. Really keeps me going some days. And tell your friends if you are really enjoying the show. Tell your friends, talk about us, post about us, because word of mouth is really powerful. I'm going to stop talking now. Thank you again. Hope you're enjoying. See you in December, and have a good November. Have a good cold months, if it's cold. Okay, bye.
Stop running from me.
Out of all due respect, Your Royal Highness, please stop following me.
Rilliane, please, stop calling me that.
My apologies.
I don't understand.
Neither do I.
What did I do?
You know exactly what you did.
That's not very descriptive. I've done a lot of things. Can't you just tell me?
Can't you just tell me the truth?
When have I lied to you?
The moment you met me. You made me look through a rose-colored glass. It's all been a deception.
What are you talking about?
What am I talking about? You couldn't be honest with me about my parents!
What is there to be honest about?
You killed them!
Who told you that?
You set an entire village on fire!
Who told you that?
You killed hundreds of people!
I'm asking a question.
And you're avoiding the topic! How could you?
If you'd let me explain...
How could you justify killing my parents? He was irritated. He doesn't like hearing the truth. He can't stand being in the wrong, that he'll justify my parents' death. Disgusting.
How could you accuse me of something like this?
It's obvious. You were the only person that wasn't from Arendelle. You stuck out like a sore thumb. Oddly suspicious that the crown prince of the capital city is in a rural small town.
So what do you want then?
I want the truth.
No.
You're going to continue to lie to me?
You don't want the truth. Whatever Jacob put into your head is a farce. If I told you the actual truth, you wouldn't believe me. You'd rather listen to an account of someone who wasn't even there.
You have a history of burning villages.
You're correct. I do. All those villages have something in common.
Do you know how many people you've killed?
Thousands.
And you take pride in that?
You either let them kill you, or you kill them yourself.
My parents did nothing to you. I fit perfectly in your game, didn't I? A gullible refugee from a burnt village. A girl who would do anything to survive. Something you can toy with to fill the black void in your heart. You forced Jacob to leave me.
He broke his contract.
And you couldn't have told me?
The contract is between him and I. He should have known better.
You're a hypocrite.
I'm a lot of things, dear. Bastard, scoundrel, monster, demon, villain. But don't you ever dare come to me, forcing me to own up to something I didn't do. If this is the story you want to stick with, fine. I killed your parents. I burned your village. I lost your brother, and I was the one who violated his contract for an elite guard. I thought you were different. I thought that finally, after 27 years, I could open up to someone who I thought was my friend. Someone who I loved. I thought I could trust you.
Lies. He's lying, isn't he? Isn't he? Isn't he?
You choose to believe a man who's out to get me over me. I see the look in your eyes. You don't believe a single word that I've said. Maybe you still see him as the hero. If that's the case, I'm the villain. It's not like I haven't been the villain before.
Why? Haven't enough people died? Haven't enough villages burned?
You don't understand. The moment you see your sister murdered right in front of your eyes, you'll realize that this world isn't a good place. You don't have blood on your hands. You wouldn't understand what it's like to be hunted.
That doesn't mean you should kill so many innocent people.
Innocent people turn the quickest. An innocent person would watch me bleed out on the streets. You were innocent. Look at you now. You've turned on me.
Because you're insane!
There it is! Everyone's favorite line!
You've watched my every move. You've followed me from place to place. You're always intruding in my business.
You could have told me I was being overbearing.
That's hard to do when the person doesn't know how to take no.
Of course, because that's definitely a sign of insanity.
You executed a man.
He killed my sister.
You tore Jacob and I apart.
He broke his contract.
You beat Captain Kyrie in front of me.
That was a moment of weakness, but I admit that it was wrong of me.
You killed my parents.
Oh, how often are you going to keep pulling this card?
Do you think this is funny?
No, it's idiotic.
Then tell me the truth.
There's no point.
Goddess, I can't stand you! Stop laughing!
I'm not laughing!
I can't take it anymore! We're done!
Very well.
Where are you going?
For every 5 steps you take, you breathe in. And for every 10 you take, you breathe out. When I was younger, Dahlia tried to help me with my anger. 5 in, 10 out. Normally, I can control my anger, but I'm close to snapping. I needed to smoke more than anything. I'm not going to have an emotional display in front of all these people. I need something, anything, to take this ache away, even temporarily. Heartbreak. I've only read about it in books. It's more painful than I actually imagined. It feels like someone stabbed me in the chest multiple times, twisting their blade in the center of my heart. It physically hurts to move.
What?
At that moment, I forgot everything. Vengeance. Jacob! There's something of importance that we need to discuss in my office.
We can handle it here, can we?
No, we can't. Please, don't mind me. Continue at your leisure.
Your Highness.
What?
I know what this is about, do I?
You must have a guilty conscience then.
No, I don't.
Good. Take a seat.
Listen, you're...
Not a single word. I thought I told you to stay away from her.
You did, Your Highness.
I did, didn't I?
What are you going to do to me?
Do you smoke, Jacob?
No, sire.
I can smell it on your clothes. Interesting.
Sire, why did you call me in?
You were the head guard once, correct?
Yes, sire.
You displayed exceptional fighting skills in the academy. I liked you, Wyndham. You showed so much potential. Skilled archers are hard to come by, especially ones that can handle blades in different types of combat.
You're going to kill me.
You've betrayed me, as I've predicted. Draw your blade.
Your Highness, I don't want to fight you.
You've done nothing but fight me this past year. This isn't any different.
I'll harm you.
Isn't that what you want? You've already harmed me, Wyndham. The worst part is, I sat there and took it. I trusted you! I gave you another chance because I thought you were going to get your act straight!
Stand on guard.
There. I saw it. His eyes started glowing white.
What the?
Be careful. She's here.
Is this?
Brace yourself. Tread lightly. He can finally tap into it. Look out!
What?
You're really something else.
What do you mean by that?
You've never been able to fight before. Has someone been teaching you?
No.
By God. Listen, Your Highness, I
Don't want your apology.
But
Nothing you can say will fix anything.
I'm going to be executed, aren't I?
No.
Then,
Was it worth it?
to me, it was. The truth is what matters.
Truth my ass. You weren't there. I didn't start the fire.
What?
Don't cross me ever again, Wyndham. I won't spare you next time.
Thank you, Your Highness.
You better fix this problem you started before she hates you.
If she doesn't already.
Lucky. I'm essentially dead to her.
My apologies.
It's worth nothing to me. Do me a favor and make sure she's all right.
Yes, Your Highness.
Please, take care of her.
He Who Forsakes the Crown is an audio drama written and produced by Chapter 15 Studios, starring Julia Orsborn as Rilliane Duvaughn, Eric Smith as Zayn de Monte, and Chara Lynn as Sayoko Kina. Featuring roles by Ranger H. Fox as Argus, Nick Richardson as Jacob, Zoe Absher as Cynthia, and Ray Walker as Guard. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Stay tuned for our next episode on December 4th.